get ready for the show. It's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns on liquid air on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
Good morning. What's going on, good people? Figure I'd go live early in the morning. It's 9 o'clock on Saturday. Philadelphia's popping. The Eagles had open practice. The Olympics are popping off. It's Sha'Carri season. Simone Biles just had her season. A lot of stuff going on. People still complaining about the U.S. women's national team. We're going to get into that in a second. But just good to be here. Hadn't had a chance to jump on. Been busy with stuff. So I've been kicking some videos out. Just haven't had a chance to live stream the last couple days. But figured I'd jump on this morning. Hope some people can join me. Hope you enjoying your Fruit Loops, your breakfast, your Cocoa Pebbles. Whatever it is you enjoy in the morning. Scrambled eggs, steak and eggs, whatever it is. Get your grub on. But for those of you who are in here, I appreciate you. Just going to have a quick conversation. Shouldn't be before you too long, but definitely wanted to get in and do some live stuff, man. But as you saw, or I'm not sure if you did, my thumbnail was a picture of Caitlin Clark. Let me see if I can bring it up. And she had her arms spread, kind of like that why. Like, why did this happen? Why did you call that foul? That sort of thing. So, but the purpose of that is the title was that that the U.S. women's national team just plain out missed the dunk. They missed the dunk when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Now, I was one, and I've said this many times. I didn't think she deserved to be on the team. I didn't think, based on their logic, it made sense that she wasn't on the team. They wanted a veteran team. I'm trying to see if I can bring up this my thumbnail up larger, because I know I can do that in vidIQ, but for some reason it is not letting me. Probably because I'm live right now. Report, yeah, because it's looking at it as live, so I'm kind of just looking at myself. So, oh, here we go. That's big enough. Check this out. So, if you missed the thumbnail, that was where I'm going. Missed the dunk. So, I saw an article. Where's that guy at? This guy is in personal finance. I want to shout him out. His name is Derek Tharp, retirement professor. All right. And he's even talking about what happened with the U.S. national team. Now, he did this a month ago, but he had some very good, I'm not a finance guy, but I understand myopic optimization. And what that means is, from my interpretation, is you don't see the forest for the trees. So you concentrating so far on what's ahead of you, you don't see the big picture. You looking at the micro instead of the macro. And that's exactly what the U.S. women's team did. And I understand, and I said this in the video the other day, because I'm tired of hearing everybody complain about the attendance at the games, at the basketball games. I'm like, I don't give a damn about the attendance. The only thing I care about is if them women come home with a gold medal. That's what I want to see. Anything less will be a disappointment, and they will take major criticism, rightfully so. But it gets to a point you just get tired of hearing it, and I made a video about it, so check it out. But in any case, if you're looking at player by player, at the time, I had questions because I still say Chelsea Gray probably, she was injured. And the more I think about it, if Caitlin Clark would have had a legitimate opportunity to be on that team and she would have been injured, that'd have been a very easy excuse why she isn't on the team. Now, Chelsea Gray is fire. Don't get it twisted. Chelsea Gray can ball. Chelsea Gray is a elite level passer like Caitlin Clark, and she's got the experience. And when Chelsea Gray was healthy, and because I wasn't familiar who Chelsea Gray was, because I saw her name on the team, and I was like, "Who is this?" Because she hadn't even played when the list came out. She hadn't even played any games. She was still on IR. So I had to go back and look at her highlights from last year and the year before so I can get familiar with it. And Chelsea Gray can ball. Don't get it twisted whatsoever. That girl can ball out. All right. So let's leave. There is no misunderstanding in that regard. So the one thing I question, though, because when she finally started playing again, and I know they made a big deal, she got a real nice applause when she came back in the game and all that kind of stuff. But she never, from what I've seen of her, she can still pass now, but she does not look as explosive as she was. She does not look like she's 100% or 100% healthy. Yeah, Pete, it's a lot of people saying that. It's a lot of people saying that. I'm not going to go that far because I don't have to have, but, and I'm saying this, let me preface this by saying I am not a fan of Cheryl Reeve. I don't like some of her comments. I don't like the way she's handled the whole situation. She needs to take a class in coach speak, where you can answer the question without putting people down. And the way she come across, I ain't crazy about. So I'm not a big fan of Cheryl Reeve. However, I'm not going to disrespect her basketball acumen or the type of team that she wanted to put together. And I'm saying that as somebody who's been a coach. I've coached football. I've coached kids in basketball, little kids. And when you like what you see at the little league level, especially I coached 10, 11-year-olds for almost 10 years. And it's the same shit. It's the same stuff. But instead of fans and the media, you got parents. But the behavior is exactly the same. So from that perspective, I do have empathy with what Cheryl Reeves is going through and what she wanted to do. And what I will say is, if that's the team that she wanted and she's at the top, she's the head coach, this is her opportunity to do it the way she wants to do it. So be it. Now, you don't have to agree with the decisions that she makes, and I don't, but I do understand this is the team that she wanted. This was the vibe that she was trying to create, and she did that, and she picked the players that she wanted, and she got to run with it. And ain't no problem with that, but you do have to deal with the consequences. Just like from my situation, you coach Little League long enough, especially Little League football, Little League football, basketball, baseball, whatever it is. You always going to have parents that get pissed off because their kid ain't playing. Their kid might not be the best player, or your kid might be the best player and just a troublesome, don't want to listen, don't want to practice, that sort of thing. So you got to balance that. So the behavior you see from fans is the same type of behavior you see from parents in the stands in Little League. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. I've told stories before where I had a kid. This kid was far and away better than the kids that we had. But this kid was coming from a different team. Parents had moved in the area. And he was kind of a late addition, but the kid was fast as a gazelle, didn't know our system yet, this, that, and the other. So I had to create some special plays for him, and they worked. But when I took somebody else's kid out so I could give this kid 1 or 2 plays, these people lost their mind. And what made it even funnier was when I brought the new kid in, he actually scored on the play. That's how good he was. That's how fast he was. But everybody was so upset because I took their kid out. Like, I took your kid out for 1 play. Like, relax. But people get bent out of shape. You understand the reference. But it's the same stuff. It's the same stuff. BT616, what's going on with you? Arike is the Kobe of the NBA. Okay. Kobe was her mentor, unknown to many. She wears 24, plays like him, 3-game winners, and yep, to win the championship for Notre Dame. Ignored twice for the Olympics, but MVP. Yeah, I get it. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. And but I always go back to the interview she did with Shannon Sharp. And that let me know that Arike was very attuned to what was going on in the politics that was going on, and she understood the game. So I got to give her credit for that. She still should have made the team, but let's be real. And Arike is my number one, my top 5 players. Arike is my number one. Arike, Jewel Lloyd, Sabrina Ionescu, Asia Wilson, Jonquel Jones. Arike is my number one. But you have to admit, Arike, she don't pass the ball too often. You got to get her the ball and let her create, and that's her bread and butter. So I do understand the style of play that you have to have. I do understand what Cheryl Reed was looking for. Especially Arike having the experience. It's just, I understand, but it is what it is. I don't agree with it. Initially, I didn't think. Now, Arike was the snub, not Caitlin Clark. I've said that. Arike Agumbawale was the snub. By the way, watch Arike's brother playing for the Houston Texans. He got some run. I got to watch all the running backs. I'm a former running back in the NFL, so I am always watching running backs. And Agumbawale looked pretty good the other day for the Texans. I digress. Arike was the snub. Arike was the snub, not Caitlin Clark. But Caitlin Clark should have been on that team just for the business of it. Strictly for the business. Because this was the perfect time. This was the perfect storm. And the U.S. women's team, the committee, they just missed the dunk. Period. Whatever reason you want to give. Whatever reason. You wanted a veteran team. She didn't have enough experience. I call BS on the amount of experience because there's been plenty of times in the past where people have been on a team with no experience. And at the end of the day, and I said this before, if Cheryl Reed wanted her on the team, she would have been on the team. Period. Point, period, end of paragraph. If they wanted her on the team, she'd have been on the team. All of that experience and all of that other kind of nonsense wouldn't have mattered. And in my opinion, if she would have went to UConn, she'd have been on the damn team. That's my opinion. Because they got an affinity for women that played at UConn. But I just think they missed the obvious. They got so caught up in the Caitlin Clark fatigue because the Caitlin Clark effect is real. And it shouldn't be called the Caitlin Clark effect because actually what it is the Tiger Woods effect. If you think about it, if you go back in the early 2000s when Tiger Woods became Tiger Woods, and Tiger Woods was 19, 20 years old, just came on the tour and immediately took off. There's not too many players that have done that. As soon as they step in the league, they dominate. Candace Parker did it in the W. Tiger Woods did it in the PGA. Ken Griffey Jr. did it in the MLB, and I'm sure there's others. Shaquille O'Neal. Because remember, even Kobe Bryant struggled a little bit. Jordan struggled a little bit. It's different because you got to look at Jordan's. Jordan's was just a highlight tape, but Jordan wasn't. But I understand that. I'm not going to discredit that because Michael Jordan came in and just had everybody's attention. And I'm sure there's others in other leagues. And like I look at, I've been following this girl on Instagram for a long time, Alona Mayer, the girl from the rugby team. Now she just finally getting her due. They won the bronze medal and all of that stuff that she put. Now she on top of the visibility is incredible. The visibility is incredible. It just takes one event for you to blow up. So the Caitlin Clark situation, yeah, she made it to 2 back-to-back national championships. And again, yes, she lost. She lost to Angel Reese, then she lost to Dawn Staley, right? But she went back-to-back. She carried her team on her back because that team is nowhere near the finals 2 years in a row if Caitlin Clark is not playing. Or, and let's say this, you got, and I don't think anybody's really thought about it like this, Caitlin Clark hasn't been injured too often. So she is holding up. Angel Reese had her issues. She rolled her ankle a couple times. She's had some injuries. And then you got to remember, Angel Reese had a lot of off the court stuff. A lot of people forget, because I know she's good at talking about, I'll be the villain and I'm okay. And a lot of people forget that after they won the national title and Angel Reese showed up and showed out in the national title game when they won that, when they beat Iowa that first year and all of that, she showed up and showed out. But coming back the next year in 24, she wasn't in school. She was beefing with, her mom was beefing with, I think it was Flauger's mom or Ravens, somebody's mom. It was a whole lot of nonsense going on. And she wasn't in school for the first 2 weeks. Didn't nobody know what was going on. It was crazy. On top of all of that, don't nobody really care for Kim Mulkey anyways. I don't mind her, but she got her ways about her. When she went after the guy that was writing the story, and she hired lawyers and raised all that hell, and come to find out, all the dude did was just kind of write a piece on what she did at LSU. It wasn't salacious. It wasn't, trying to tear her down or nothing. So she had to eat crow. She would admit it. She didn't come out and get no press conference, but she raised so much hell about hiring lawyers, thinking that somebody was coming for her, is going to write something bad about her. And all he did was write the truth. So I'm saying all that to say, you got to package Angel Reese with LSU, with Kim Mulkey, and everything that came with that. On the flip side of that, Caitlin Clark, even though she lost, was pretty much squeaky clean in corn country. You ain't really had no problems with her. She ain't spicy. She ain't got no attitude. The only shit talking she do is on the court. Whereas you look at Angel Reese is in a 2-piece bikini in Cancun or somewhere. She got the Instagram following and the social media following is off the chain. And the problem a lot of people have with Angel Reese is you can't be, I'm the villain. You can't be posing in a 2-piece bikini with a thong and then come back and say you a victim. A lot of people that's like, wait a minute, you're doing too much. Not saying, because I don't know what was going on in her life, and I'm sure she was getting some hateful stuff. But these days in this era, and she has grown up in this era, you got to know when you put yourself out there like that, people are going to come for you. The internet is going to come for you, and you got to be ready. and it's a little, I don't want to say disingenuous, but it's just the off look when you've been playing rough and tough for so long. Now you at the podium and you crying because of everything that's been happening to you when you've been putting yourself out there like that. You got to take the good with the bad. That's been a microcosm of everything that's going on in WNBA as a whole. This growth, just like any other thing that grows, especially look at your kids. When your kids start to grow, what do? They get growing pains. You get some kid that's 5'10", and next year he's 6'4". What do they complain about? His knees always hurt because your knees ain't finished growing yet. Your knees, your legs and stuff ain't caught up with the rest of your body. So you have growing pains. That's what the WNBA is going through right now because they clearly wasn't ready for this level of attention. They trying, but they just weren't, logistically, they weren't ready for it. You can't have the biggest name in your sport come through and you always running out of jerseys to sell. You got two rookies that you just drafted that have the highest social media following that your league has ever seen. You got two rookies that got a higher social media following than established veterans. And you don't do nothing with you don't connect with your social media at all. You don't collaborate at all to promote what was going on. If it happened, I didn't see it. Let me just say it like that. If the WNBA and Angel Reese, the WNBA and Caitlin Clark, if they collaborated on something, I didn't see it. All I saw was Angel Reese doing what she normally does, and Caitlin Clark was all over State Farm. I didn't see anything with the WNBA and Caitlin Clark. I didn't see none of that. But you did see the State Farm everywhere at the draft. But maybe the WNBA didn't have the budget to have a full-fledged media team like they got in the NBA. Heck, even I just went to Eagles practice the other day. The Philadelphia Eagles and every other NFL team has a media team. Their sole purpose is to create social media content for the fans and for the PhiladelphiaEagles.com. That's it. So they getting guys coming to practice, they asking silly questions and people dancing and doing all of the trendy stuff. That is their purpose. And it works. It pays dividends. And I don't understand why the WNBA couldn't do. They slowly catching up, but it's slow. It's a slow grind. You got two rookies that have a bigger social media following than the WNBA in its entirety. And it seemed like the optics were, they didn't even tap into that. So yeah, they missed the dunk. Peter, I missed this one, man. Take out Griner, Chelsea Gray, and Taurasi and replace them with Arike, Reese, and CC. I agree 100%. I agree. Now, the one thing I will say, Griner was hurt, but Griner can still play. She slowed down up and down the court, and she another one I don't think is 100%. All she does is get the ball around the court and hit that 10-foot jumper, and can't nobody stop her because she's 6'9". Chelsea Gray just doesn't look like she 100%, but she can still get the ball down and she can pass her butt off. Taurasi is just a field general. Taurasi is the experienced veteran, the captain of that team, because she's been to how many Olympics? She's 41 years old. So she's seen it all. And not for nothing, I'm not crazy about Taurasi either, but she can still ball. You have to accommodate special talents. Yep, did Kobe adjust her game 2008 Olympics? Yeah, I agree. You talking about Arike? Yeah. I think she could have did what she wanted to do, but I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of the styles and different things like that. Jewel Lloyd, Kalia Copper, Sabrina, and Kelsey Plum, they distribute the ball because Kelsey Plum and Enrique got the same quicks. I think Enrique is a little quicker off the dribble. But, I mean, if they really wanted to go, if you really wanted to get nasty and take the two best guards, it would have to be Enrique and Kennedy Carter. They just couldn't be on the floor at the same time because they're the same type of player. So yeah, man. She can adjust this game. I thought it was funny. I saw on Gilbert Arenas' podcast where he was talking about why he didn't like Mike Krzyzewski. And I don't know what spawned this conversation. Oh, I think he was talking about he was telling Krzyzewski that he was ready to change his role, not be the dominant, be a passer, play defense, this, that, and the other. And I guess Krzyzewski kind of dissed him. So he was, and I'm saying that to your point, like somebody can try to change up, but sometimes it's hard to change your stripes in the game. So Caitlin Clark and injuries already had started. Yes, they did. The majority of them don't care about Asia Wilson. The face of the league is Caitlin Clark and Reese, period. At this point, yeah, you can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. And it's a mental thing that the WNBA, this WNBA, they got to adjust to because there's not too many people that are playing in the league now. Taurasi is one of them. There may be a few others that were around when Candace Parker came in the league. I think Taurasi might be the only one still playing. For a rookie to come in there and people have to shift that it's not about us, it's about her. And a lot of people don't like that. And I never bought into the fact of the I didn't think they were trying to hurt Caitlin Clark or go extra. No, let me take that back. They were going extra at her. My point is that they weren't doing anything different that has ever happened in the past. That's my point. They weren't going out of their way to try to hurt Caitlin Clark. She the one with the ball, and she got the target on her back because she the number one pick. I understand that because we did that in the NFL. You got the number one pick coming in at wide receiver. Guess what them DBs are licking their chops. All right, send that rookie across the middle and see what happened. He the number one pick and he a running back. Let that joker come off tackle. I got something for him. That's the mindset you have when you got the number one pick and you paying somebody all of this money and you've been grinding for 4 or 5 years. That's always going to happen. So all of the hard play that they was giving to Caitlin Clark, that ain't nothing new. I was mistaken about that because for a minute I was like, this don't look good. Y'all fucking with the money. This don't look good at all. But what I did was I went back and I watched the highlights from 2023, 22, 20, 19, 18, 7. I went all the way back to Candace Parker's rookie year. You watch them tapes, you watch them highlights on YouTube, and you tell me them women wasn't getting down and dirty and playing hard. They were doing the same stuff. The only difference is because now you got a lot more eyes on you. And because the NBA doesn't play like that anymore, most people don't know what they're looking at. But it's been like that. And you had to look in some of the racism and the colorism because some of that was real. Because, let's be real, let's keep it a buck. When Alyssa Thomas slammed Angel Reese on her neck, it wasn't no outrage. It was a welcome to the WNBA moment. But when Kennedy Carter hits Caitlin Clark with the hip check, people lose their ever-loving mind. So it is what it is. That's you got to keep it a buck on that one. The outrage from the Kennedy Carter play and the outrage from the Alyssa Thomas play was Totally 180, totally different. It was night and day. And that lets you know the social, I don't know, social construct, the way people look at it. Yeah, it wasn't a good look. And I'm saying that from a fan's perspective, looking at other fans. I've gotten into spicy conversations on Facebook and on social media with Iowa fans, as I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. I like Angel Reese, but I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. And I've gotten into spicy conversations with Iowa fans who really get bent out of shape if you say anything critical about Caitlin Clark, regardless of this is true. Regardless of whether it's true or not. I got into it with these Iowa fans back when she was the 2024 season. And Iowa lost the game and their rebounding sucked. They got out rebounded like 32-12 or something like that in the game as a team in the game. And my comment was, Iowa needs to do a better job of rebounding the ball or they're going to get their butts kicked. And everybody came at me like, you got to keep it positive. If you don't like Iowa, why are you here? If you don't. And I was like, what the hell are y'all talking about? Did y'all not see the game? Y'all saw the same thing I saw. They got out hustled on the boards and didn't rebound. That's why they lost the game. But you got them hardcore fans. You can't say anything wrong. Once again, I use the reference of Little League parents. You can't say nothing bad about their kids. Well, your kid don't hustle. Well, your kid, you can't say nothing bad about him. They didn't want to go to complain to the head coach. I don't like the way he treat my child and blah, blah, blah. Get out of here. That's why your child don't play. Stop playing with me. But it's the same thing. Anytime you say something bad, different, whatever, it's like everybody get bent out of shape and you lose. I guess for me, you lose perspective. I know my perspective is different. I've been a coach. I play football at the highest level in the NFL. So I've seen a lot. So for me, now they're not coming after Caitlin Clark. They're not trying to hurt her, but they are going to play her hard and let her know. And you know what Caitlin Clark did? She struggled in the beginning. Then she finally found her footing. And then she started killing them. Now, mind you, she still ain't shooting great. She's still not shooting great. She's shooting, 32% from three? She ain't even the best three-point shooter on her team. That's Kelsey Mitchell. But she got better. She said, all right, my shot's not falling. I'm going to pass my ass off. And that's exactly what she's been doing. And it's been paying dividends. Same thing with Angel Reese. Because I was one of the ones that say Angel Reese going to struggle because she's going to be with girls that are bigger, stronger, faster, and play better in the paint. Nope. I was 100% wrong on that because Angel Reese, I did a video where I said Angel Reese knows her role and she should be the Dennis Rodman of the WNBA. And damn it, if that's exactly what she's doing, she is out hustling everybody down low. She ain't the highest jumper down there. She ain't the best jumper she is just straight up out hustling everybody for them rebounds. And she getting them putbacks and she getting it done. They can bitch moan and complain that the double-double ain't that important all you want. Well, if it wasn't that important, everybody wouldn't be doing it. Or everybody would be doing it. But they not. But she consistently 14, 15 games or whatever that streak was. Then she did it in the All-Star game. Then Caitlin Clark get, 11 assists, 12 assists or whatever it was in the All-Star. Y'all better stop playing. And I'm starting to see a trend. And you look at Angel Reese, you look at Caitlin Clark, you look at Rickea Jackson, Aaliyah Edwards, Alyssa Peely. You look at, what's the girl in New York? Fibish. The difference is all of these rookies, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Rickea Jackson, Aaliyah Edwards. Those are the only four rookies. Cameron Brink, when she was in the game, but she wasn't starting. No, she was starting. But the rookies that are letting they are letting play are producing. When Alyssa Peely finally got in the game, she hit him for 20 her first time playing. She went off. Cheryl Reeve just don't play the rookies. Indiana, Christy Sides ain't got a choice. Rickea Jackson, she kind of getting lost in the shuffle because De'Erica Hamby is balling. But Rickea Jackson has been showing up. Aaliyah Edwards has been showing up. But she's just on a bad team. So the rookies are balling. The difference with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark is they averaging 30 plus minutes a game. Rickea Jackson is starting, and she ain't even averaging that. I think she averaged 24, 25. So when you giving them the opportunity to play more, they are showing up. They are showing up. Yo, 616, I agree with you. Chelsea Gray is still, she's not 100%. She is definitely not 100%. Dallas Wings into the bottom league. That means they get Paige Beckers, Lord. See, I don't know about that, man. Styles make fights, and Arike and Paige. Paige is a baller though, so they could feed off each other, but something's got to give. Something's got to give. Now, the one thing I like about Arike, the one thing I like about Kennedy Carter, I love it. Asia Wilson and Kate Beckers, that Caitlin Clark doesn't do. All of those players will take mid-range shots. For whatever reason, Caitlin Clark is allergic to mid-range shots. She does not. She took them at Iowa, but she is not taking them in Indiana. I don't know what the deal is. She just does it, and when she takes a mid-range shot, it's an ugly shot. It's like she don't know how to shoot it no more. I don't know. So that'll be spicy. That'll be spicy with Paige and Arike. Because something's gonna have to give. Because both of them, because as soon as Arike is getting the ball in her court, she's looking at whoever's matching her up and she crossing them. And she taking it to the rack or she popping the jumper. So but Paige is the truth. Paige has got to stay healthy though. Kiki Infrin from Stanford will go number 3 to the LA Sparks, 19 points per game and 11 assists per game. Yeah. What about the girl from UCLA? Lauren Betts. And she what, 6'7"? Cardoso should have been drafted by the Sparks. Yep. She should have been. Although Cameron Brink was balling. Cameron Brink, the thing I like about Cameron Brink is Cameron Brink knows that she's in there for defense. And she was blocking shots. She was blocking shots and getting boards because she got that crazy wingspan. But Cameron Brink got a pretty damn good jumper and can hit a 3. So she was looking pretty good. Cardoso can't shoot. Cardoso is strictly around the rim. I thought that the Mystics were going to draft Angel Reese because she's from Maryland. She'd have been going home. But I guess they, I don't know. I mean, you got Aaliyah Edwards and Angel Reese. But I guess that's kind of the same player. I don't know. People are talking about Angel Reese Slam, but she expected them to come after her. That's why there was an outrage. It wasn't racial. No, I don't think either one of them were racial. I just think Kennedy Carter, I honestly, and this is my take, I think regardless of what Angel Reese says, clearly, Angel Reese, Kennedy Carter had conversations about Caitlin Clark. Because for her to come over there and hip check her off the ball play that was not a basketball play and put her team in jeopardy, and Andrew Reese jumps up out the seat. Clearly, they had conversations about that. So Andrew Reese can say what she want to, but actions speak louder than words. So, and let me be honest with you. In my opinion, if Kennedy Carter does not do that, Kennedy Carter is an all-star. Because she is arguably the best guard in the league right now. Well, she was before the break. Yo, Tim, the second half is going to be crazy interesting because who is going to be able to brush off the rust first? And Las Vegas is going to be tired. Phoenix is going to be tired. The best player, arguably the best player for Connecticut, Alyssa Thomas, is going to be tired. Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart are going to be tired for New York. So who's going to be able to get their legs back and brush off the rust after this month-long break? Now, the flip side of that is all of them women that did play in the Olympics, they've been playing every day. And they've been playing games, and everybody else has been having practice. So I agree with you 100%. It is going to be very interesting. So we'll see what's going to do. We'll see what they're going to do. We'll see how it's going to work out. Let me see. The Sparks draft mostly from UCL and Stanford. They keep Cali girls at home. They are going to draft Kiki. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. All right. Okay. Also, don't forget who's got the first pick, because it won't be the Sparks. It'll be the Golden State team, right? Golden State comes in next year, and then Toronto in 26. So I got to figure out how that works. How they going to do the expansion draft? Does the expansion draft get first pick, or do they? I know all of the teams put a pool of players available to be picked by the expansion team. And let me be honest with you, the Sparks, Golden State. If you plan in the WNBA, do you really want to be in LA with that cost of living and what they paying y'all? Every other city, Dallas, Las Vegas, Minnesota, maybe not New York, but all the other teams, that cost of living in LA is brutal. And they paying these girls, what, roughly 80 grand a year? I thought it was 25 and 26. All right. I'll take your word for it. Only 8,000 people showed up for the USA Japan game. Yeah, I don't care about Japan though. And let me be honest with you. I have never, until this year, I have never heard so many people talk about the attendance at an Olympic event. I've never heard that. And I've never worried about it. And I'm not going to start now. So like that don't bother me. I don't care about who they Japan ain't a threat. Like, let's see what happens once we get into medal rounds. Now I know without a shadow of a doubt the attendance is down. Heck, I watched the BMX gold medal run last night, and those little bit of crowds was packed, and it wasn't. That may have been like 2,000-3,000 people at that thing. But all of their little stands was packed. But the point I'm making is obviously the other teams are getting more run. And they would have been packed if Caitlin Clark was in there. I saw the little Japanese kid with the sign, and I'm like, come on, man. I ain't getting bit out of shape out of that. So I'm not, while you are 100% correct, I am not worried about the attendance at the game versus Japan or the next game. The only thing I'm worried about is the medal rounds. When they start playing for medals, that's the only thing that matters. And I don't care if 3 people show up for the gold medal game. If they win the gold, that is all that matters. I don't give a damn about how many people show up. They're not taking them. They're not making money off them ticket sales. So that's irrelevant to me. Let me see. All right, so undecided if expansion gets first pick. Yeah, I got to figure that out. Yeah. It's rough out there in LA. Oh, I'd heard that, but I thought I'd heard something like that. I watched the thing about Kelsey Plum, and I remember they said that they give her a car and all of that kind of stuff. So well, that's good. Nice. Cost of living is still high out there though. Yeah, the attendance is down across the board, but the viewership is up though, right? Because I would look at the TV views. But at the end of the day, I mean, my point is still the same. They lost, they missed the dunk. They lost the opportunity to really grow the game and really blow it up, especially in the CBA year. That was, I believe that the 2.2 billion that they got for media rights, I believe that would have been a little bit more. I believe that may have been 2.5, 2.8 had she been a part of the Olympics. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think the value, if she goes to the Olympics, if Caitlin Clark goes to the Olympics, she is driving up the value of the WNBA globally because everybody wants to watch. Christine Brennan, somebody that's been covering the Olympics for a long time, she's been on TV forever. She said it. She said it. Was it on Rich Eisen? She said that they whiffed. She said the U.S. Olympic team whiffed because she said, in my experience, and this is what Christine Brennan said, in her experience, covering some of the women's basketball, where it would be like 3 or 4 people in the media room covering the game, and they had a chance to put themselves in a situation where every game was packed, and just bring the awareness and everything that comes from that. And she said they whiffed. Yeah. Yep. Everybody about to get paid, man. And that's why, you know what? Y'all better quit hating on the girl that's bringing in all this money. Y'all got to stop. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. They did the same thing to Tiger Woods. King Griffey Jr., he came in and dominated, but he wasn't changing anybody's money. But Tiger Woods, a lot of times the purse for a tournament is based on the ticket sales, and you bring in more money, then you got more money to, the purse goes up and everything that comes with that. You selling more merch and all of that kind of stuff. And I remember they did a thing when Tiger Woods was in his prime. He was still young Tiger, even really before his prime, when he was just getting hyped up. And even the number, the global impact, and Caitlin Clark is having this effect, the global impact, the amount of young Black kids that started playing golf because of Tiger Woods was ridiculous. It was crazy. You had golf academies starting up in inner cities. You had country clubs inviting inner city kids to come out and learn golf. That never happened before. Because what Tiger Woods made people realize was there was money to be made in places that they never thought money could be made. They didn't think Black kids played golf because golf is an expensive game. And you talking about kids in the city, then what did they do? Remember, I forget what it was called. It was the initiative, and they started taking used golf equipment and giving it to kids in the city, and the kids started playing. All they need is an opportunity. That's what Tiger Woods did back in the day. And then all of a sudden, all them galleries, they had to get extra security because there was so many people on the course. And the galleries off of the first tee were just ridiculous. And people on the other side of the course would hear the roar when Tiger Woods sucked a putt. It was crazy. And people started resenting him because of that. That's what Caitlin Clark is going through right now. And it's not her fault. It wasn't Tiger's fault. It wasn't Tiger's fault. Here's what happened. And I spoke on this before. When you are, and I saw this happen. Happened in NASCAR with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Danica Patrick. More so with Danica than Dale. Dale Jr. When Tiger would play around, regardless of what happened, play good, play bad, didn't matter. You might have some other guy on the course, on the tour, may have played his best round, and then a reporter comes and sticks a microphone in his face and asks him, did you see what Tiger did? And that is annoying. Because I just played the best round of my career, and you asking me what somebody else did? Let's deal with me first. That's what was happening with Tiger Woods. That's why so many people got annoyed with him. That's why they started changing the courses, lengthening the courses, because he was winning too much, and people didn't like that. So they started to complain. Same thing with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. It is unquestioned. A'ja Wilson is the best player in the WNBA for the past 3 years and right now. There is no argument. However, if you put A'ja Wilson at a table and you put Caitlin Clark at a table and you let everybody in to get autographs, guess what table's going to have the longest line? Caitlin Clark. A'ja Wilson, Diana Taurasi, Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum, Candace Parker. I don't ever remember any of those great players from then or now that required the team get a bigger venue to accommodate the demand for tickets and then fill it. I've never seen that happen before, but it happened with Caitlin Clark. She's moving the needle in every possible way. So when I go back to my man talking about myopic optimization, they couldn't see the forest for the trees. And the optics of it is, I don't like this young girl coming in and doing all of this stuff. We've been here for years, but you haven't been moving the needle. And if you have, it's been very, very slow. It's been very slow. So now you got somebody that just basically put a turbo booster and just shot you out of a rocket. And now you complaining. That's the problem. And I honestly don't, I believe there are some people in the W that are resentful and spiteful. And because let's be honest, sometimes that's what women do. But for the most part, it ain't like that. The problem is the optics of it. That's what it looks like. Because I don't hear the conversations behind closed doors. Don't nobody see that. So the optics of it is messed up. The comments that Cheryl Reeves said about not giving two shits and all this and all of that, I understand where she's coming from. But that's not a good look for the league. And I would say that's where Kathy Engelbert is kind of like, you need to step in and it's like, hey, y'all need to shut all of this shit down and help build the brand so I can get everybody paid. Oh yeah, Tim. I remember that. Again, you can't ignore that. Colorism, favoritism. That had never happened before. And I don't disagree with when LSU was like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. It had never happened before in the past. Why are you going to do it now? You knew what it was. You knew what it was. So I remember that very vividly. Founder syndrome. I like that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we're written in history. You know what? People are seeing in real time the transition. I was alive. I was 14, 15 years old. I was born in 70. Jordan came in the league, the 84 season. So I was 12 years old. So I was very impressionable when Bird Magic happened. So I remember seeing that, and I remember the effect it had on me because I didn't really watch basketball. I knew Dr. J. Everybody knew Dr. J. Dr. J was the name because he could dunk in the ABA and the Afro and that. And then all of a sudden, just immediately after that, it was Jordan or it was Bird and Magic. Boston was the bad guys. The Lakers were the good guys. That's how everybody saw it. Same way with the Cowboys and the Steelers. Back in the 70s and the 80s. The Steelers were the bad guys because they were beating everybody up. And Roger Staubach and the Dallas Cowboys, they ended up winning 1 or 2 in the 70s. It was a battle between the Steelers and the Cowboys. And the Steelers were always the bad guys. So it's all how it's perceived. So we are witnessing history. Dark Boson, you're 100% correct. We are seeing the transition in real time of a fledgling business become mainstream. And the problem is some of the employees didn't know how to handle it. Kennedy Carter and Angel Reese talked all of that smack and did not know how to handle themselves the first time they got presented with a paparazzi that was in their face. And it's like, oh my God, what is he doing? And it's like, this is mainstream. This happens every day. Every day. This is what NBA players deal with every day. You can't go to dinner. You can't enjoy your family without somebody trying to jump in your face and get a picture with you. And I tell you what, even saying that, that's why I give LeBron James, whether you like him or not, I give LeBron James all the credit in the world. I'm going to give him credit anyways because I'm an Ohio boy. He up in Cleveland, up in Akron. I'm from Cincinnati, but we Ohio to the core. But I got to give, you got to give LeBron James credit because he came in out of high school and immediately dominated. You look at all of the other kids that came out of high school. And Darius Miles, Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant. And I'm sure there's other ones that I can't even think of. LaMelo and Lonzo Ball and all of them. Everybody struggled. LeBron James, from the time he stepped on the court, was it. And everybody knew it. And they did the same thing to LeBron that they're doing to Caitlin right now because everybody didn't want to give him his props. Then he kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And it was unavoidable. And now he's 40. Doing the same shit at 40 years old. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player the NBA has ever seen. Period. Michael Jordan is the greatest champion. But as far as a basketball player, LeBron James is doing things that is ridiculous. At his age, at his size, is off the charts. But when you look at what Caitlin Clark is doing and what she has done for the league, and for her to come in and immediately transition, because Elle Duncan said this before. Whether you like Elle Duncan or not is irrelevant, right? There you go, Stafford. 70s babies unite. Elle Duncan said something when she was talking about Caitlin Clark, and this was early when they were still talking about, are they trying to hurt her and they're playing too physical? And this was when that conversation was still going on. But Elle Duncan said something, and she hit the nail on the head. What she said was, she made reference, she was like, at ESPN, we have programs and strategies that literally tell us. We have metrics that we have to look at that literally tell us when we talk about this, we get this response. When we talk about that, we get this response. And her point was we don't create this in a bubble. The audience has to tell you what they are interested in listening to. And the audience has spoken that Caitlin Clark is what people want to see. And everybody else that doesn't like it, if they're going to be mad, they're going to be mad by themselves because she's still coming. And rather, And I always say this, she can't sign all the deals. She's not going to get all the endorsements. She can't make all the commercials. So there's got to be some fall off. And the people that are smart enough, you know who's smart right now is Aaliyah Boston. Because eventually Aaliyah Boston's going to pop up in some more commercials and all of that kind of stuff. And if Asia Wilson was smart, she would partner up and do some commercials. And it's all about getting paid. If I'm opening the door to you getting millions, who cares if I open the door? And that's what the WNBA is doing. They mad that Caitlin Clark is opening the door and just totally forgetting about all of the access that they have once they walk through the door. They just mad at the person that's opening. I wanted to open the door. I've been here for years. I should be opening. Man, shut up and just get paid. Check out my video. That's one of the best videos I did. Y'all effing with the money. Effing with the money. Y'all going at her, giving her uppercuts, and don't get it twisted. Caitlin Clark will talk mad shit. When she on the court, she talk mad shit. And she should. On the court. But Magic, you go back and you look at Magic Bird, because that's the example everybody wants to use. You go back and you look at Magic Bird. Magic was smart enough. On the court, him and Larry went at it. Off the court, they were friends. And made it grow. Everybody, I'm telling you, there's enough room for everybody to eat. There's enough room for everybody to eat, but everybody bitching because they can't cook. Well, guess what? Everybody can't cook. YouTube commentators are making money and building big platforms and careers off CC's popularity. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've said this many times before, and I laugh every time I say it. I am a former NFL running back. I was a running back with the Philadelphia Eagles. I played in the World League. I played in Canada. And I created this channel to talk about the Eagles. And now my most popular content is the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark. I am not oblivious to that fact. Even now, we are in training camp. I was just at Eagles camp. If you look at my social media feed a couple days ago, I got pictures with Saquon, Brandon Graham, Big Dom. I'm standing right next to Jalen Hurts. I had a chance to talk with N'Kobe Dean. I'm standing toe to toe with these dudes. I'm alumni. It was alumni day at practice. But when I look at the analytic numbers for my YouTube channel, WNBA is up here and the NFL is down here. It's crazy. So to your point, Caitlin Clark, everybody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to talk about it. Yeah, I wasn't happy about that. You can't. Yeah, there were many other teams that were more deserving, losing teams that were more deserving to go, but that just didn't happen, and it was not a good look. Yeah. Oh, what I was saying about Aaliyah Boston is watch what happens. Eventually, Aaliyah Boston gonna start popping up in more endorsements and commercials because she is an ally of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark can't make all the deals, but watch how the trickle down effect, the overflow. Somebody got to catch it. But the problem is, and in some situations, these women got more ego than men. Everybody want to be on top, and everybody can't be on top. Facts. Yeah, man. Listen, here's what I say, because a lot of people get. I heard what Angel Reese said about, when she got on this Me Too movement about I helped start this too, and it's like, Yeah, you did. But if you got to say it, it don't hit the same. Because when you say it, it sounds like, look at me, look at me. That's what it sounds like. At least from my perspective. That's my opinion. But when she said that, she wasn't wrong. It just, to me, it just wasn't a good look. And I made the reference of, that's like when you was in school, when you was in elementary school, there was always, you knew who the fastest kid in class was because y'all would go out at recess. For those of y'all old enough to have had recess, but everybody knew, Stafford, you from the 70s, you knew who the kid was in your class that was the fastest in class. And everybody went outside on recess. You either played kickball, you played tag, or you was doing races. And you knew who the fastest kid in the class was. But you hated it if that kid was always reminding you how fast he was. Or you had the kid in the class. There was always one kid in class that could draw. He could draw the Bugs Bunny characters. I remember we had this girl. She was incredible, and she could draw like back then. She was drawing Garfield, and it was incredible. She did shading, and she was a savant. But when you have them people like that, and they always remind you, "Yeah, I'm the best. I'm the best." I know you're the best, man. Shut up. I get it. I get it. You ain't got to keep telling me that sort of thing. And that's what it sounded like from Angel Reese. And what I said was like, no, Caitlin Clark was going to break that record with or without you. So the fact that y'all met up in the national championship game and that all of that had happened, Caitlin Clark was already on the ascension. Now, when it became compelling was when she talked all of that shit. When Caitlin Clark talked all of that shit. And I know the story that Haley Van Lith told and all that. It wasn't towards anybody. And I was like, so what? It's too late for that. It's too late for it. It happened. And again, the optics of it wasn't a good look on Iowa. And Caitlin Clark talking smack, and then she got smacked down. And that's why Angel Reese was all in her face now. I do think Angel Reese took a little bit too far when you following the girl around the court and all that kind of stuff. That wasn't a good look, but she was playing out. She was playing the villain role. So I ain't got no problem with that. And it made everybody pay attention. Now, Angel Reese was 100% on that. She is correct. She was part of the catalyst. Now you go to 2024, and then you don't even know if he's going to be on the team. So I'm not going to, the momentum, Caitlin Clark carried that. She ran with that. Because if you look at LSU in 2024, it was more about Kim Mulkey than it was the players, in my opinion. You didn't know what she was going to do. She was snapping at reporters. She making them comments, so she wouldn't have done that to Angel Reese. And it was Kim Mulkey going off the handle. I'm not going to disagree with that. And let me be honest with you. And again, I've said this before, Stafford. My biggest fear for Angel Reese is she going to say something stupid on social media. And they're going to come down on her. And it's going to affect the bottom line. Because more and more, these people on social media getting very, very emboldened just to say any old thing, and they getting careless. They're getting careless. You got politicians saying stupid shit, athletes saying stupid shit. People just get careless. You meet somebody that covers football. You look at all the problems they got with Micah Parsons because he on his podcast, and I can say what I want to say, and then, like, you 100% can say whatever it is that you want to say. You can state your opinion, but don't get it twisted. There are consequences to what you say. There are consequences to what you say. And people, especially now that people are so super sensitive, they don't make them like they made us, Stafford. Somebody made a t-shirt. What's the girl, the real Slim Sherry? She said, we was raised on hose water. what she say, hose water and something else. But if you drank hose water as a kid, yeah, you tough as nails. They don't make them like us no more. And this fan base is super sensitive. Super sensitive. Just to switch it back to football a little bit. Look at, and I'm in South Jersey. South Jersey and Philadelphia are like suburbs, right? So here, everybody's so been out of shape that Jalen Hurts is not in the top 5 on people's quarterback list. And I'm like, who cares? But I understand the fandom. I understand why they care, but I'm like, it don't matter. Always have a take in camp because it happens every year in NFL training camp. On every team, you look at every media feed, on every team, everybody's talking about, the quarterback was throwing dimes. He looks really good. And he's got a master of what's going on. And he's really like and they go overboard with the praise. And it's like, listen, this is just practice. I just need my quarterback to understand the new offense that he's getting into. And we can run some motion and use our new running back. I don't, it only matters when we line it up against somebody different. Because how many times does somebody have a great preseason, and then the season starts and it's not the same? Not the same at all. So I don't get too hyped up in training camp. It's nice that Jalen Hurts has only thrown 1 interception in all of training camp. And I'm like, so what? Brock Purdy was struggling last year. And you know what? He went to the Super Bowl. So people they take it overboard. You know what I'm saying? They just, like, you take it too far. Just pump your brakes a little bit. Pump your brakes a little bit. And I'm saying that because back to the point about fans and fandom getting so super sensitive. With social media, everybody just off the chain. Super sensitive. So I don't know. It is crazy. And yeah, it's that's just the way people do. Ugh, dang it. Hold on for a second. You know what? I screwed up. Sure did. Oops. There we go. Let's do that. Let's do that. No, you're moving too fast. And you forget to set up the stuff the way it's supposed to be set up. Yeah, that's me. But yeah, man, the fandom people get super sensitive, man. And I'm like, I don't give a damn what happens in preseason. I don't care. I would like to see our offense go out there and look halfway decent. And I want Jalen Hurts to look like he has a firm grip on the new offense. That's all I want to see. And I want to see Kellen Moore use the pieces that we have. But what's going on in training camp doesn't matter. But I'm saying all that to say, people get so bent out of shape when you don't say something glowing about your favorite person. And it's the same thing in the W, same thing in the NFL. I just think that people are getting used to saying what they want to say on social media with impunity. No repercussions. No, nobody's coming for them or nobody's holding them accountable. And if they do try to hold you accountable, by the time anybody makes a fuss about it, there's something else that's already happened in the news cycle. It happens too quick. So there's no point. Reese should be averaging 22 points per. Yeah, she does. But it is what it is. Gen X is the best. Nothing offends us. I won't say that, but yeah, we are the best. Yeah, we've been through some shit. We've seen it all. It's funny, man, because our generation, we are the generation of Atari and in television and Apple IICs and iPhones and Motorola Razors. We've seen the um we've seen the evolution of the technology, because I'm a gamer. I was a gamer. I don't really play. I don't have time to play anymore. But I was an avid gamer up until a couple years ago. Grew up with before I had an Atari, I had a Magnavox. And then when we got into high school, my dad bought us an Apple IIc. It looked like a little briefcase, little white briefcase. And I remember in high school, my big thing was I took architecture and graphic arts. That's why I do graphic design today. And I did graphic arts and architecture all 4 years in high school. And I remember I set type. I did it the old-fashioned way, where you had to ink the big press with the big wheel on the top, and you pull the lever, and it would slide everything down and ink it, and you had to pull the sheets out one by one and make sure your hands didn't get crushed. And you had to get the little. Just imagine if somebody took a typewriter and cut all the letters off the edge of the typewriters. That is what setting type is. Then you got to take them little pieces and put sentences together, put headlines together. Like, I learned how to do it the old-fashioned way. The first Mac that I ever worked on sat about 2 feet. It was about 2 feet high, and it was a monochrome green monitor. And the only thing it did was print type. So if you wanted the fancy fonts and stuff for something that you were printing out, this computer could do it. But it wouldn't just print it out. Back then, it printed it out. You had to develop the printout like film. We had chemicals and stuff, and it rolled in the water, and it was crazy. So I'm saying that to say I come from a different time, and I've seen the evolution of everything. I remember in 1978 when ESPN came on the air, and you instead of using this to change your cable channel, you had a box and you would go. I remember that. So I've seen the evolution of ESPN, and when nobody watched ESPN, and then all of a sudden they started showing Michael Jordan's dunks, and then everybody started watching ESPN. I watched the evolution of all of this, the media, the hype, the social media. It's funny now. You look at people. What do you use? You use TikTok? You use Facebook? You use Instagram? Oh, you on Threads now? People just totally forget. Like, MySpace was a thing, and that was huge for a minute. So it's funny to see the whole evolution and how it has advanced and changed the landscape of sports. I can make a comment right now on the Eagles or the 49ers or the Bengals or the WNBA, and my opinion can get just as much traction as somebody on ESPN or on ABC or on Fox Sports 1. There's a huge war going on down in Dallas with the radio stations and the social media content creators. They've been going back and forth. But the fact that somebody sitting at their computer can make that happen, when you're talking about an entity that has existed for how many years has radio been in existence? And if you can cut that down a little bit, let's just talk about sports radio. The environment is different. So what we're doing on social media, what I'm doing on YouTube, we're more relatable, because you know what, Stafford, you can type a comment and you don't have to wait on the phone lines for 30 minutes to talk for 20 seconds. Because now we can have a conversation. Tim, me and you can have a conversation. BT616, we having a conversation. And your opinion matters. That's why all these content creators are continuing to grow. And terrestrial radio hate it. Hate it. They all hate it. That's why all the terrestrial radio stations all got podcasts. They all broadcasting on YouTube too, because they losing ground. So Yo, Stafford, my dad, we was lucky enough. My dad bought one of them 12-foot satellite dishes and had it installed in the backyard so we could get Telstar 1, Telstar 3. I was watching anime from Japan back when I was in high school. That was a big thing. You had the dish. My dad bought a dish and had it installed. It was crazy. So yeah, man. So, well, listen, man, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I'm gonna fix me some breakfast, make sure my wife don't need anything to eat. But fun being on here this morning, man. I'm gonna have some stuff going on. I'm working on a location, possibly like a once a week thing. But I plan to be back on the grind, especially now that track and field is heating up. There will be multiple posts during the day with comments and updates on the Olympics. And obviously, I'll be watching the women's team. So I'm going to try to stream the game one time. So we're going to have some fun, man. But I will be back on the grind this week. Look for me every day this week. I am trying to stream at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. is my time. 9 p.m. Eastern time. That's still early enough that people on the East Coast can watch, but also late enough so people on the West Coast can watch at a reasonable hour. So I got some West Coast people in the family, so we're going to keep that pumping. So do me a favor, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Do me a favor and invite somebody to come on the podcast, man, because I like to have conversations, man, and I like to have a lot of different opinions. Man. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you, Tim. 0-0 USA Japan in soccer second half. Cool. So I appreciate, man. KR, Stafford, Tim, everybody that was in the chat today, BT616. I appreciate you, man. Peter, man, we had good conversations, man. Let's keep this going. Let's keep that growing, man. I appreciate you. God bless y'all. Be safe out there this weekend. Enjoy the time with your family. And look for my updates, man. Hit that notification bell so every time I'm going on live, you can be able to check me out. All right, I'm going to get out of here, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.